Before we deconstruct the brutal systematic breakdown of the global hiring grid and the algorithmic arms race currently rendering traditional job seeking obsolete, I have exactly three critical questions for you to answer in the comments below. Number one, are you still mass submitting AI optimized resumes to automated corporate application portals, completely blind to the fact that you are locked in a zero signal feedback loop of AI on AI crime? Number two, as a human resource executive or a corporate leader in the Mumbai or Dubai, do you understand why your expensive, automated screening tools are creating an algorithmic monoculture that excludes the true cognitive diversity? Number three, when the entire baseline of resume writing and technical assessment has been completely fraudulentalized by generative bots, do you possess the structural blueprint to prove your biological legitimacy? Let me know your answer. For those who are new to the channel, here is my intro. I'm Dr. HR. I approach the global labor and capital market not with emotional, comforting advice, but as a cold, structural, algorithmic system. I hold a PhD in human resources, a master's from prestigious Tata Institute of Social Sciences, TISS in Mumbai, and a bachelor's in computer engineering, operating on the ground here in Dubai since 2010, consulting for Tier 1 corporate entities, sovereign wealth funds, and apex tech founders across the Middle East and India. I monitor exactly how the global talent is sourced, valued, and filtered. The market does not care about your beautifully formatted keywords. It rewards absolute, verifiable, biological execution. The traditional talent acquisition framework has suffered a total terminal collapse. A few years ago, technology teams could evaluate engineering talent by jumping on a Zoom call, administering a code assessment, and going on mute for an hour while the applicant worked through it. Today, that framework is entirely broken. Coding exercises are scrapped and leaked on Glassdoor. Savvy 23-year-old practiced the solutions multiple times using AI teleprompters, and millions of applicants are deploying automated bots to systematically flood the job market with identical, hyper-optimized resumes. It has become nearly impossible for a corporate enterprise to figure out who is real and who is fake. AI has completely Tinderized and Amazoned the hiring process, scrubbing the uniqueness out of the human profiles, replacing personal discretions with brute algorithmic screens, and turning recruitment into an anonymous, high volume wasteland. We are deconstructing the exact parameters of signal collapse. We are exposing the severe limitations of algorithmic monocultures across the India-UAE corridor and giving you the precise sovereign execution protocol to bypass the silicon gatekeeper, establish absolute credibility, and dominate the automated grid. Stop relying on the chatbot, start reclaiming the human context. Grab a notebook. It is time to execute an operational pivot. Phase 1, the mechanics of signal collapse. The AI on AI crime wave. We must first diagnose the exact technological crisis that has paralyzed the human resources department from the tech park of Bangalore to the corporate free zones of Dubai. In the pre-algorithmic era, a curriculum vitae, the CV, was an artifact dense with informational signal. Hiring managers did not just read the text, they parsed advertent and inadvertent signals. They looked at the structural formatting, linguistic choices, unusual digression, and even over-honest admissions. These subtle anomalies allowed a human eye to instantly separate exceptional cognitive talent from a mediocre execution. In 2026, tools like ChatGPT and Claude had completely commoditized the production of professional language. Large majorities of job applicants are now using generative models to polish their cover letters and summarize their accomplishments. While this has raised the average aesthetic quality of these documents, it has done so at a devastating macroeconomic cost. It has compressed and homogenized the information they convey. This is a definition of a signal collapse. Now, traditional CV, diverse signals, generative AI flatlining, the signal collapse, and the homogeneous slop. Because everyone now uses the exact same punchy action verbs, the exact same corporate prose, and the exact same keyword density to bypass the applicant tracking system ATS, everyone looks exceptional, which means everyone looks exactly the same. The unique biological signature of a human capability has been entirely flattened into a synthetic average. Hiring managers are straining to distinguish underlying expertise from a cacophonous chatbot noise because AI has reduced the friction and time required to submit an application. Job seekers are deploying bots to blast hundreds of resumes across LinkedIn and zip recruiters for roles they are not even qualified for. This has triggered a double sided isolation loop. Applicants are submitting hundreds of forms and never hearing back, receiving zero feedback on their actual market value or structural skill deficiencies. Companies are receiving thousands of identical profiles and are forced to respond by building even thicker, more automated walls. It is an environment of AI on AI crime where an applicant's AI is lying to an employer's AI, generating a high volume loop of synthetic feedback that contains zero true data signals. Phase 2, the algorithmic monoculture, the automated filtration crisis. To filter through this overwhelming ocean of AI generated applications, corporations have committed a critical operational error. They have turned the gatekeeping keys over to the machine. Recent market research demonstrates that 4 out of 5 enterprises are now relying on AI algorithms to scan incoming resume. 2 out of 5 are using automated chatbots to communicate with candidates, and 1 out of 5 has deployed a fully automated AI interview interfaces. When you scale this algorithmic filtration across an entire economy, you create a deeply dangerous systematic risk, the algorithmic monoculture. A comprehensive study analyzing over 4 million job applications exposed the dark reality of this corporate architecture. When human resources department adopt the same foundational automated screens, hiring decisions become terrifyingly uniform. In the legacy era, a company might have arbitrary or elitist screening criteria, picking specific schools or legacy network. While that was structurally flawed from an egalitarian perspective, it possessed one major benefit. Different companies have different arbitrary criteria. A candidate rejected by firm A might be highly valued by firm B because a human manager saw a unique spark in their profile. The algorithmic monoculture permanently eradicates this variance because custom built enterprise screening systems are trained on similar data models. They enforce a rigid, uniform filtration index. If an applicant's profile lacks the exact geometric keyword markers dictated by the industry average, they are not just rejected by one firm, they are systematically rejected by every single enterprise utilizing those automated screens. Furthermore, these opaque black box systems have been explicitly proven to discriminate against minority demographics, reinforcement, systematic biases under guise of objective data. Because the algorithms are custom built and proprietary, their core functionality is entirely hidden from external audit. Their advantage had already advantaged and disadvantaged the disadvantaged, all while replicating the existing workforce historical biases. This creates a terminal risk of organization groupthink, permanently locking companies out of non-linear, high-agency talent required to break out the strategic stagnation. Phase 3, the regional friction, the India-UAE talent trap. We must strictly apply this structural collapse to the macroeconomic realities of an India-UAE talent corridor. Both of these hypergrowth markets are experiencing acute contortion under the weight of a recruitment crisis. The Indian landscape, the commodity factory. India possesses the highest concentration of software engineers and white-collar execution talent on earth. But because the entry-level baselines has been entirely automated by generative code models, the Indian labor market has transformed into a massive factory of synthetic noise. When a tier 1 enterprise in Bangalore or Mumbai lists a remote or hybrid corporate role, the application portal is hit with an immediate wave of 20,000 to 50,000 AI-generated resumes within 48 hours. The volume is unmanageable by human eye. As a result, Indian tech conglomerates have leaned heavily into aggressive algorithmic screening. This has led to a massive hiring regret because the AI screens value flawless keyword matching over raw execution capacity. Companies are onboarding candidates who look like absolute visionary on paper but who cannot resolve an unstructured real-time system failure without open-source AI assistance. The incentive to build deep fundamental technical expertise is actively dying among young professionals because the system only rewards the ability to look good to the UAE landscape, the expat filtration bottleneck. Across the UAE, anchored by high velocity execution goals of a Dubai Economic Agenda D33, the talent market is flooded with intentional applicants attempting to secure tax free executive salary. Because candidates can apply from anywhere in the world with zero friction via digital portals, UAE Human Resources Department are buried under global resume dump. To survive the administrative load, corporate entities inside DIFC, ADGM, and mainland Dubai have installed highly aggressive automated filters. This has made the job hunt an absolute hellscape for high leverage expats. A truly exceptional localized sovereign operator who matches 90% of a critical infrastructure role can be instantly filtered out by an unoptimized keyword algorithms before a human being ever realizes they are living in the digital portals that promise to democratize access have instead built an impenetrable automated barrier that paralyzes corporate agility and leaves international talent completely stranded in the application vacuum. Phase 4, the strategic counter-revolution, the return to the pedigree and physicality. When an engine runs at maximum RPM for too long on a dirty fuel, it experiences a catastrophic structural failure. That is exactly what is happening to the fully automated recruitment machines in 2026. The sheer volume of fraud, AI cheating, and automated teleprompter manipulation has forced the world's apex tech companies to initiate a massive strategic retreat. Corporate leadership is discovering that AI is slowing HR down instead of speeding it. Enterprises are being forced to allocate massive budget to background checks, multi-layered identity verifications, and fraud detection software simply to verify that the biological person who applied is the same person executing the code. To survive this crisis, the market is executing a heavy counter-revolution. We are witnessing a violent return to the face-to-face interaction, extended probations, and old-fashioned network. Let's look at the 2026 recruitment retreat protocol, the in-person mandates. Google enforcing at least one round of physical face-to-face evaluation to verify core fundamentals. Cisco integrating mandatory physical verification steps and enhanced in-person background check. 2. Contract to the higher filtrations. Companies are abandoning immediate full-time onboarding, implementing extended probationary contract structures to vet real-world biological output prior to legal commitment. 3. Pedigree retreat, resorting to old-school and alumni network, trusted local boards, and high-end headhunters. Using university pedigree as a safe risk mitigation mode. Look at the corporate telemetry. Google has systematically updated its global protocol to ensure that candidates must undergo at least one absolute face-to-face in-person interview to verify that their core intellectual fundamentals are genuinely present. Cisco is aggressively increasing its verification steps, deploying enhanced background check that mandate a physical in-person component to eliminate the threat of automated interview cheating. Contract to hire shift. Enterprise systematically abandoning the traditional full-time immediate offer letter. They are moving towards extended probationary period, hiring top talent on a strict contract basis first, with the sole intention of evaluating their unassisted biological output over 90 days before granting a full-time corporate placement. Most importantly, companies are retreating to a pedigree. They are resurrecting the old-fashioned network, elite alumni tracking systems, local targeted job boards, and high-end executive headhunters. As Ken Schumacher candidly observed, firms are moving back to institutional filters not because Ivy Leagues or top-tier IIT graduates are inherently the absolute best operators on the planet, but because it is the safest play in an era where it is nearly impossible to tell who is legitimate and who is full of crap. The silicon scaffolding has cracked. When the technology commoditized corporate language to a point of absolute indistinguishability, the market naturally retreats to a physical world. The elite network and the verified institutions to protect its capital from systematic fraud. Phase 5, the sovereign job seeker protocol breaking the algorithmic monopoly. We have diagnosed the death of a resume signal, exposed the trap of algorithmic monoculture, analyzed the India-UAE bottleneck, and mapped the corporate retreat to physical verification. The final phase is your personal execution blueprint. If you are a high leverage professional standing in the middle of this AI engineered hellscape, how do you mathematically guarantee your survival? You must reject the digital lottery entirely. You must deploy the sovereign job seeker protocol. Step 1. Terminate the automated spray and pray model. Stop acting like a bot. The moment you use automated platforms to apply to 500 random positions with an AI generated resume, you are actively contributing to the noise that is destroying your own market value. You are validating the very algorithm designed to filter you out. You must shrink your focus from a wide, low yield floodlight to a piercing, high density laser. Identify exactly 5 high leverage corporate targets where your specific cross domain expertise represent an uncopyable solution to their current operational bottleneck. Step 2. Build an independent telemetry backed proof of work. Since a resume has suffered a terminal signal collapse, you must stop relying on self reported text document. Your professional identity must live outside the ATS portal. Build a public, auditable dashboard of your biological execution. If you are an engineer, your code must live in public, verifiable repositories. If you are an HR executive or an operational director, your strategic systems thinking must be mapped out via detailed, high fidelity case studies, architectural whiteboards, or video breakdown that walks through the precise SDRC, the situation, decision, risk, change vectors of your past corporate turnaround. Show the evidence of your comprehension because generation is free. Step 3. Execute the localized physical intrusion. When the digital space is infinitely flooded with cheap automated text, the ultimate contrarian arbitrage is the physical world. If you are targeting a tier 1 firm in Dubai or Mumbai, stop begging for an informational interview over LinkedIn messaging. You write a single, high density, beautifully structured executive brief detailing a specific solution to that company's public market challenge. You print that brief on a high weight physical paper. You put it in a sealed envelope. You put it on your sharpest executive attire and you physically drop it off at their corporate headquarters in the DIFC or a tech hub in head. It sounds primitive, it sounds outdated, but in a world where a hiring manager's digital inbox receives 10,000 automated emails a day, the physical delivery of an elite, unautomated human artifact stands out like a blinding beacon of an absolute legitimacy. It proves high agency, absolute fearlessness, and immediate biological verification. Step 4. Weaponize the trusted referral grid. Because companies are retreating to pedigree and high-end headhunters to insulate themselves from fraud, your primary currency is your human network. You must systematically reactivate your premium alumni connection, your past corporate alliances, and local trusted professional circles. A single warm referral from a trusted operators inside an enterprise carries a high signal weight than 5,000 hyper-optimized resumes processed by an ATS screening algorithms. Cultivate the biological relationship because the silicon connection has lost all economic value. Look closely at the strategy you deployed today to advance your career. Were you tweaking keyboard on a digital document hoping a machine would select your profile from a pile of a million identical templates? If so, you are trapped in the automated monoculture. You are a participant in a game designed to filter you out. The 2026 talent landscape belongs exclusively to the operator who possesses the courage to step outside the digital matrix. Stop hiding behind the chatbot. Step into the physical boardroom. Stand in front of the live whiteboard. Leverage the high trust network and force the global economy to pay you the absolute premium for an uncopyable, unfakeable power of authentic human execution. Process the data, execute the strategy, and I will see you at the top.